friends, I am here again with another episode of Football That I Live. We have discussed few forwards who figures in the Hall of Fame of a book penned by Novi Kapadia, Barefoot to Boots. I can't resist myself to tell you about the great hero Shyam Thapa because I myself have watched him playing. Shyam Thapa was a great groundman. His acrobatic back volleys and overhead bicycle kicks were treat to watch. And football lovers used to wait in the whole match for that moment when Shyam Thapa used to take his favorite bicycle kick, which became synonym to his name. Born in May 1948, Shyam Thapa could play anywhere in the forward line, though he also played in midfield and defense. He was discovered when he scored the match winner for his school in 1964 Subroto Cup final. East Bengal Supremo J.C. Gua signed this young upcoming star in year 1966. The 18-year-old Shyam proved his worth by scoring hat-trick against Rajasthan FC in his debut match in the 1966 Calcutta League. Too young to handle Kolkata pressure, he returned to Gorkha Brigade. Playing against formidable BSF in the Durand final, Shyam scored the match winner in the replay match. General Sam Manekshaw was watching this match, and he was so happy with the victory that he hosted a party for Gorkha Brigade the next day. At this party, Shyam requested General Manekshaw to release him so that he could play professional football. And General Manekshaw agreed. Shyam Thapa then joined East Bengal in 1970. And then same year he played for India in 1970 Asian Games and scored goals against Indonesia and Malaysia. From 1970 to 1977, he was a regular member of the Indian side. Shyam's career suffered a setback when he had to leave Kolkata because of increasing Naxalite attacks. He moved to Bombay but returned back to East Bengal in 1975 after playing 4 years for Mafatlal. At that time, Mohan Bagan paid him a record money of rupees 50,000 to play for Bagan, and he proved by his game that he deserved more than that. He was surprisingly omitted from the list of probables for the 1978 Asian Games. There was a huge hue and cry over his omission, and after General Manekshaw's intervention, Shyam was asked to join the training. But Shyam was so upset that he announced his retirement from the international football. In 1980, coach asked him to play as a right central defender, and he played excellent as a defender. Shyam still lives football and his memories. What a great player was he. Another great forward of this time was Manjeet Singh. Like Chuni, he was also a very smart player. His looks were that of a film star. He was a strong-built Punjabi and was terror for defenders. Born on 10th June 1950 in a village near Punjab's Mahilpur, and his father was an army man. At the age of 20, he was selected for the 1970 Santosh Trophy squad. Tall and broad-shouldered with curly brown hair, Manjeet spearheaded the Punjab attack in place of Inder Singh. His performance was great in this Santosh Trophy. He was selected for the 1970 Bangkok Asian Games, where he scored a goal against Japan in a game being played for the 3rd and 4th place. He scored the goal on Shyam Thapa's cross. He was a regular member of the Indian side for the next 6 years and played in 1972 Pre-Olympics. Manjeet played best at Merdeka tournament and considered Kuala Lumpur as his favorite and lucky ground. Known for his impulsive nature and forthright views, Manjeet was very vocal against lack of proper facilities. After the 1976 Merdeka tournament, as a captain, he fought for better facilities for the players. It is nothing new in India, and he was never picked for Indian side after that. He played for all leading institutions and clubs of Punjab. After the 1976 DSEM final, the visiting South Korean coach praised Manjeet's shielding and passing skills. Manjeet tragically died in a car accident in 1992, and his close friend and great footballer Harjinder says Manjeet was basically an introvert who enjoyed outdoor life, good food, good music, but was a fierce competitor who wanted his team to always do well. Manjeet's looks were that of a movie star, whereas another great striker, I. M. Vijayan's life was itself a movie. Inni Valappil Mani Vijayan, known as I. M. Vijayan, was born on 25th April in 1969 in a thatched mud hut in Thrissur. And he was so poor that he could not afford to buy a pair of shoes. The story of this great player is very fascinating. His father, a daily wager, died in a road accident when Vijayan was just 12 years old. His mother worked as a floor cleaner and scrap collector to run a family. To supplement his family income, Vijayan used to sell soda water bottles or groundnuts at the nearby municipal football stadium. This also gave him a chance to watch football matches, which was his childhood passion. He soon began to practice barefoot with neighborhood children on the streets using the ball made of cloth racks. George Blue, an Scottish coach of FC Kochi in 1997 and 1998, said that if Vijayan had been born in Europe, he could have been a great international star. But despite being born in a poor Indian family, I. M. Vijayan was a class and a great Indian football star. His talent was such that at the age of 15, he was enrolled in a 3-year football camp in Kerala. With his outstanding performance at Federation Cup in 1990, Vijayan became the most successful forwards. He was first selected to play for the country in 1991, and then he regularly represented India till 2001. Vijayan is the only Indian footballer who has 2 hat-tricks to his name in international football. For 16 years, he played for big Indian clubs: Mohun Bagan, JCT, Kochi, Churchill Brothers, and East Bengal. He also received offers from Malaysia and Singapore, but he turned down the offers. Vijayan, who idolizes the Brazilian legend Zico, was noted for his sublime skills, superlative free kicks, and visionary passes. Former Indian national coach Syed Naimuddin said about Vijayan that he looked casual, but when he attacks like a panther. Vijayan now runs a football academy in Thrissur. Vijayan, known as Black Pearl of Indian soccer, who had a very challenging and tough childhood, but was one of the wealthiest footballer of his time, who took rupees 1 crore as a transfer fees. These are jewels and pearls of Indian football. And next time, we will conclude the list of Indian forwards before moving to midfielders. So guys, goodbye, and we'll be back with another memorable story of Indian football. Till then, live the game you love. Thanks.